Hi guys, today is a very special video for us. We are actually doing a tour for a school kid. It pretty much goes right along with a lot of our videos we do to teach pretty much new people how to powder coat, or at least what we do. You know, my saying is everybody does things differently. All that matters is the way that you get to the end quality, as long as it's good. So we also teach on how to promote your business. You got Facebook, you got YouTube, you got Google search, you got all that stuff. One of our big things is community-based stuff. We do discounts for first responders, veterans, active, non-active military. We do discounts for people that have put food at the food shelf. Anything like that, community-based, we're really big on, and we believe that that helps us grow the business. Word of mouth is one of the biggest promotion for your business. We were reached by a teacher at a school asking us if we'd be willing to do a tour with a kid that's interested in powder coating. And of course, we're up for any of that stuff. We love doing community stuff. So yeah, we told her absolutely, we're definitely interested in that. So this video is of that experience that we had. Hopefully it pushes other coders out there to take a little bit of time to do community-based stuff. But if not, that's fine too. For each his own. So, okay, I hope you enjoy the video. On a different note, we are still doing that 1K giveaway. If you go to this link up here and watch the video, it will tell you how to enter for the giveaway. Along with that, in that video, there is an Easter egg to let you know how to enter a second time for the video giveaway, or for the giveaway, sorry. I want to first thank our sponsors that gave us items for the giveaway. Temp masking, they gave us a kit. Myself, we put some pull plugs up there. CoatingsbycoatesLLC. We use it on our gun. I like it. So they're doing one for the giveaway, so definitely thank them. Cardinal is giving away, I think it's 3 pounds of powder, but I think it's smooth black, but that's going to be up here somewhere. Tiger Dry Lock, I think they did 5 pounds of red candy. That's going to be up there somewhere. 10X is doing 50-pound bag of their media. And then Greener Blast Technologies, they are doing a grab bag. I think it's going to be like a shirt or something like that. So thank you to all our sponsors. One thing we are, let me do this quickly. One thing we are running into is duty out of the country. There's some products that we're having a hard time with for going out of the country. If we run into those situations, we'll get hold of the winner and deal with that then. We do know a lot of our base is out of country when we run our analytics. So we will try our best to make sure everybody gets what they need. We do have like, I think it's like $20 shipping that we're doing for these items. But some of the stuff out of country is just, there's a whole bunch of, I don't even know what you call it, a whole bunch of BS behind that. So anyways, let's get back to the video. This video I'm doing for Caden. He's a young man that came today and spent time here. So I just wanted him to have a little bit of documentation for if he ever wants to watch it. Down in this description, Caden, is our information for our Facebook. You can reach us if you need anything, and we're always here to help you and answer any of your questions, bud. So, okay, guys, hope you enjoy the video. Hey, guys, so today we're here with Caden.
Yep.
Where are you from?
At Colebrook.
Colebrook?
New Hampshire.
What school are you guys in?
Colebrook.
Colebrook School, yeah. Elementary, what grade?
Oh, Nichols. He's doing the tutorial program at Northeast Kingdom Learning Services.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
In tandem with the Colebrook School.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Because we are close to New Hampshire, and so New Hampshire kids can come to Vermont because they have access to the Canaan school as well. So when they don't really care for the mainstream school, tutorial or high school completion is the option.
I don't like the mainstream school.
It doesn't work for him.
I agree. I was the same way.
You can do it on your own pace.
I graduated and everything, but I also went the alternative way too, because it's more hands-on and doing things, and you don't have to deal with.
And that's what he can do. Everything we can do toward his interests. It's all geared toward the kids' interests. We have to meet the certain criteria, yes, but it can all be built around this.
See, that's how school should. That's really how school should.
Exactly.
Be. The school system of just sitting there with 20 kids and. That honestly, that just doesn't work anymore.
We have so many students right now, it's insane.
Yeah.
In Newport in particular, I think there's 36.
Yeah, my daughter's from Newport, and I'm always trying to say, like, if you don't like the school-based system, do these programs. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna want to go to school each day instead of being like, oh, school sucks.
We have fun. High school completion is the biggest thing. Tutorial meets the needs of others because it's the across the border thing. But the high school completion is exactly what you're talking about. I take kids anywhere they want to go. Math will be around, if this is his interest, how do we bring the math into it? If this is the science, how do we bring the science into it? If there's
and that's
chemistry,
good because this has all that.
Exactly. And any other piece and part that can come with it.
So what program are you going into learning right now? Is it like a mechanics? Is it?
Yeah.
Mechanics.
You just talked about you wanted to do building trades this fall at the school.
Carpentry and all that. That's a good one to get
and
into.
Any automotive that he could find. They're few and far between up where we are. We don't have a Green Mountain Tech Center.
And there's not a really lot of stuff to do in Colebrook.
Right.
Right.
It's a small town.
Very small
town.
Yeah.
Canaan's even smaller. Don't blink. Like literally.
Yeah.
It's really tiny.
Yeah, with those trades and everything, like right now, those trades are so hot and people are trying to find people for them. So that's a good idea to get into those. And that's where a lot of students, they'll go through 12th grade, then they'll go out and learn this. Where if you can get into it like at your age and start to learn it, by the time you graduate, you have a good grasp on it, and you're already a step above them, and probably be making more money than them.
Yeah, sure.
So no, that's
with no
awesome.
student debt.
Yeah, absolutely. And this relates to your mechanics. I mean, it goes with your mechanics. It goes with your anything metal. Literally, like snow machines, dirt bikes, 4-wheelers, ATVs, or anything like that.
Cars,
trucks. I mean, right there we got rims. A shitload of rims that we're doing. So, what made you think of doing powder coating? I mean, what were you just like watching YouTube one day and saw it? Or?
I kind of was watching it as like, I was always loved painting. Like I was always loved painting. So I was like, I don't like getting paint on me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do powder coating. So it's like, I mean, I know a little bit about it, but not too much. You know?
Yeah, paint you're gonna get all over you. Powder you'll get all over you too.
Yeah, powder you will get all over you too.
But when you're taking a shower, a little bit of water runs the powder off, and then your wife or girlfriend would be mad at you because you just messed up the bathtub. I get it all the time. So, so when we moved in, I used to do powder coating with my uncle, just to work under him and everything. And then we stopped that quite a few years ago, and I got here and I was like, I need to find a niche because I want to build something so when I retire in 20 years or more, hopefully, I have a company already. So even if it's slow, by the time I'm at the retirement age, I actually have customers and everything coming in. So that's what started my whole thing. Then I'm like, what in this area can we do that other people aren't doing? And powder coating, like there is a couple places close to here that do it, but they do it commercially. So if somebody comes in with beat up rims, they won't even do them. They want the big jobs, they want the 1,000 pieces coming in and all that, and it's a number. They want to get them through as fast as they can, where we don't care about the number. Like if it takes me 2 days to do a rim, I'll take the 2 days to do it right and make it look good. So my word of mouth is more important. I ask customers to do honest reviews on Google, good or bad. That way I can learn. And our Google review, I think we got like, if you look powder coating near us, the next one below me has like 7 reviews, and they're like at 4 or 5. Ours has like 47 reviews at 5.0s. Like perfect. And it's because we take the time, we do it right. If I get it and I don't like it, I'll strip it right down and redo it. We have a video, how to start powder coating under $200. You'll have people saying there's no way to, but if you go and buy everything new, you're not gonna be able to do it. But if you buy old, like Facebook Marketplace is awesome.
Yeah.
So we used to have, it's like a $50 Eastwood gun. That was a crappy gun, but it gave us something to start with. We bought a stove on Facebook Marketplace for like $20. So we just started, when we first started, because we didn't have the money, we were just doing like little parts like alternators or brackets for engines or valve covers, you know, things mechanical like that. Then after we got doing that, we saved up enough. We upgraded our machine. We upgraded our oven. So now we can do, I actually had a lady a couple weeks ago, she asked me if I could do her car. And I was like, well, I don't think our oven is big enough to do your car. I said, what do you mean? Like your rims on your car? And she's like, no, my car. And I was like, she's like, can you drive a car into it and do it in your booth? And I'm like rims and tires and all? And she's like, yeah. And it's like, it's not paint. A lot of people are gonna have a hard time with powder and paint. They don't understand the difference, okay? So if you ever get into this field, you are gonna get that question. We actually save on YouTube. There's a couple videos that what's the difference between powder and paint, and we save it on our favorites, so when anybody asks, we can just copy and paste it and send it to them, and that way it's educating them. You want them educated to understand what you do, to understand mobile blasting. There's one other guy in Vermont that does it, and he's actually retired, and he's the one that's been sending people to me. So I'm getting in as he's getting out. So now there's just knowing we get hit so much that I'm having a hard time keeping up with the powder, knowing I'm gonna have all these. So I've got to get my son trained, like even if he's the one going out and doing the blasting, so I can do this, or start training my daughter to do the powder, something, you know what I mean? Like we
have an extra.
We are growing at a big rate now, and this is just a part-time job. Get them to understand that when we do rims like this one right. Of course, on the far side. Okay. So see how this doesn't have a seam? It's nice and smooth. Okay. This steely has a seam. See that seam? Nightmare. Okay. What it is, you can't get powder in that seam, and if you get powder over that, you think of this. There's an air pocket there, right? You're putting a sheet of powder over it. You're heating up that air. That air has to go somewhere, so it's gonna blow through your powder like spaghetti sauce on the stove, and it bubbles up through. It does that there, so you get it out, and it's messed up. A lot of people would go through flow out, and then they'll take a razor blade and cut along that edge, and hopefully by the time it's done curing it, folds in. What we found, and we started doing, and we haven't had no issues yet, is we hot lock it. Because we're melting into it without putting a layer over it that will blow through. Powder coating affect other paints over it. How does powder coating affect other paints if you paint over it? Affect other paint. You can't powder coat over paint, but you can paint over powder coat. Okay. If something's black and there's some kind of damage to the powder, it's easier to just paint over that than it is to strip the whole thing and repowder it. If you're a customer. Something with us, if there's something damaged, we have to just redo it. For our personal stuff, we'll experiment and like powder over powder and stuff. Our customers, we're very anal because we want the best reputation out there. And when they look up powder coating near us, we want to be at the top of the list with like 50 something, and the next one down like 7. That's our goal.
You were, because I was the one that did the research to find out where we could go.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we,
so I was
we
like, wait a
pride-
minute, this is where?
Yeah, we pride ourselves when we get a lot of questions on how to advertise and stuff. A lot of it's like, okay, you got Facebook and you got YouTube and Google, but really our biggest form is a community. We give, I think it's 5% off for our first responders. We give 5% off for veterans or active military. If somebody donates a food shop and brings us a receipt, 5% off. Well, I'm animal control and health officer in town. Running for the board. You've got to be a part of that community, even though we're so busy with my normal jobs and in this and like everything. But you have to be a part of it, and because your community and word of mouth is where your business is really gonna go. Okay.
That's the important stuff.
That really is. Why do I need to add virgin powder to my reclaim? You don't reclaim.
Okay.
So reclaiming is, so our loss when we powder coat is nothing. What reclaiming is if you're a big factory and they have a line of parts and they just shoot tons of powder at it to make it wrap on both sides. Well, their base is like perfectly clean, like spotless. So their powder goes down through, it sets on the grates, it goes through the sifters, and then they'll either take that and reuse it, or they'll take it and send it back to the powder company, so the powder company can sell it as reclaim. But you'll never deal with that. And that's where when I say you can start under $200, people are like, you can't, but you can as long as you don't go brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't go like crazy, all brand new stuff.
Guns.
Yeah.
Eastwood, you can get Eastwood guns. Usually I see them under $50 on Facebook Marketplace used.
Yeah, I'll start looking on Facebook Marketplace more and more.
Yeah.
And then let me know, because I'm sly with how I write things up.
And then powder, get a cheap powder, go to Prismatic Powders and get some of the cheap stuff, the $10 stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Not the expensive stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
When you're first starting out, you want the cheapest stuff, so if
Cheap.
you mess up, it's not a big deal.
Cheap stuff.
And we'll find some old metal at Ben Wright's.
Yeah.
You take all your metal to Ben Wright up in Newport. You can recycle it. He has it.
Oh yeah, so you can go to him
Anything,
and,
so you can
and
practice.
that's good because you don't want nothing like flat and easy. You want a bracket with an L or a U bracket to where you have to try to force powder in. We do this from the inside. Make sure everything's on. Here, reach through that, and then it's Like this? Yeah, with that. Here I wasn't even recording. When I took it from you, I started it. You must have been recording. Well, I'm getting the end of it. Here, Larkin. So go ahead and lay it on quick. Yeah, that's dried off. Make sure that you see that. We have Illusion colors. What other oh, I know which one you liked. You liked that Universe, didn't you? Okay. So Universe would be a solid. So we just have to, there's Kingsport. Maybe it's under circles.
This is a must.
Black Silver, that's the one I gotta do those rims on. Misty Burgundy. I think this is one that has a burgundy look to it in the light, but it's black in the shade. We got it because we wanted to test it. We just haven't tested it yet. K-Man. Glowing. What do I have Universe under? Prismatic Universe, flip-flops. Shelf 2. That's where I am. Prismatic Universe right here. Oh no, that's all right. You usually just, what you do is you pour it in lightly. That way you're not packing. Yeah. And you can see the flakes even in around the edges. So on the bottom of this, because you don't realize when you're in a small shop, you gotta utilize everything, right? So I put magnets on the bottom of this, so I can keep this, so if I have to get in here, I can utilize this. Otherwise, if I didn't put magnets here, I'd have to always take it off, do this. I can have this straight up and down here, and mess around and still use this. So now we just gotta make sure that our power can reach. Okay, so feed, I'm going to take feed. All guns, when you first get them, they're going to feel a little complicated. After you use them for a while, it's just like anything else, you'll get used to it. The reason I like to use this for small things like this, that system is night and day difference from this with all the adjustments, but on little things like this is a lot more convenient because I have things like this instead of having to do a big one. Take that away. That's okay? Yep. Let's give you some light. And then you're going to find, even with this, when you're powdering, you're going to take your handle off and then go like this. And like you might grab it to do up here. I usually start like this because I'm doing the top, and then I'll do the sides, and then I'll just. I use myself as a ground a lot, but then you're gonna get powder on there. But you can do it whichever way you want. And it's just like paint. And if you have to grab it off, you can. That way you can look on the bottom of it, on the top of it. You looking? Yeah, because, so one of the things when I'm doing it, right? So the way you can tell that it's gone is if you put a light to it and you see this shiny metal behind it, then it's not thick enough. So you don't have to worry because, you know, let me get you a dead spot. So. Okay, so this is for an example. See how you can see through?
Yep.
See how it's,
You can see the metal.
yep. So that's showing,
It's not dark.
like yes, you may not be able to see, we see it because we know it's there, right? But you may not see that, and then you come with your light and you're do this, and you're like, okay, I'm dead, light there. I know we did some on the side, but apparently that covered up. So we know we gotta do it. Another thing with powder is one of the things kind of like paint is when you're doing the top, you're doing the sides, you're doing this, you're doing this, and you're doing this. At the very end, you want to do a smooth coat over everything to kind of blend all your corners and the ridges in. So go ahead. Sorry for ruining a good job. It's better, huh? And then you can always blow on it. You don't want to spit on it when you blow on it, but to get like that excess off. But to me, I'm not seeing any fade spots, are you? Because sometimes you'll see them right in the ridge and creases, but to me, that looks good. But another good thing is, after full out, before our clear coat, we'll also find out. So now we're going to just put it in the oven. Because we have to do actually, we don't have nothing in the oven. So we will put this in the oven. Larkin, you want to do the door, please? Now let's see, make sure it's, does that look flowed out to you?
Yeah.
Looks glassy?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see, you want to wipe that off? Just so that doesn't
Use
fall?
paper. There we go.
Perfect. So now we're just going to wait a few minutes, wait for that to
Very full.
cool off. You protect yourself by doing it cold, but you run into like the bacterization when you're cold, you run into Faraday cage. Your biggest challenge as a powder coater is Faraday cages. Do you know what Faraday cages are? Okay. Faraday cages are when you get a piece of metal, okay, so like this corner right here is a Faraday cage, okay? So you think of, if you have a piece of metal like this, okay? Okay, so it's in a big piece of metal. Your bubble, or your ground bubble is like this, okay? So if you look at something like this, your ground bubble on this side, and then your ground bubble on this side, okay? Okay, well this right here, where they interchange, is a Faraday cage, so when your powder comes down, it's gonna wanna bounce off. It will cling to all these because it's a single, you know what I mean? You get your single spot on all this. Even on the back side, it'll be fine. But this one section where these two things interconnect, that's a bubble, that's a Faraday cage. So if you have something that's like, it's a U shape, say it's a bracket, okay? Well, this is a Faraday, this is a Faraday. So it'll seem like all this will get powdered, this will get powdered, this will get powdered, and nothing will be down in your corners. But that's where when you get into adjustments with your kV, your microamps, back off on your kV, up your microamps a little bit, maybe lower your powder, maybe lower your air, add more powder. Them are where the adjustments turn you from somebody doing it in the backyard with one system and you can't control it to somebody that can control it. See that? This will be one of the first things that you have to get. Well, not this one, they're like $10 on Amazon. So 100, it's close. So I get a lot of people saying, okay, do you calibrate this? Or how do you make sure this is accurate or something else is accurate? Powder is not so finicky that you have to calibrate. You have to know, like, if we're off by 5 degrees, 10 degrees. I think powder, I talked to the guy at Prismatic Powders and he told me they have like a major give in it, like 25, 30 degrees everywhere, because he understands ovens aren't the same, things fluctuate, calibrations are off. They just give a specific point to make sure people have a guide to go by.
Okay.
So if your oven's at 105 or at 405 and you have to cook at 400, don't worry about it. You're fine. If you run over 12 minutes, you're supposed to be at 12 minutes, and you go to 13 minutes.
This thing has to be at right now to do the second.
Right now, 100 degrees, it won't melt.
Okay.
So if you pick it up, you just pick it up, you'll make sure. Oh, maybe I should turn this on. I always go, the very first thing I do, no matter what I have, and then here, I've already adjusted it for like 1 coat, 2 coat, 1 coat, 2 coat. So I want a 2 coat there, and then a 2 coat here. And it may not stick, and you always adjust it. Every powder is different, every substrate's different. I have a guideline up on the top of that over there. See that? It says fluidizer hot, fluidizer cold, all that. Those are what I adjust to start with. I never keep it at that because, like I said, powder's different, fluidizer, parts different, metallics lay different. But I'll start with that, and then I'll adjust from there to where I want it. So you always need that starting point. My starting point with these is always, I didn't want a little cloud. See how that is?
Yep.
That's perfect. Now, stay back about a foot. Do a couple passes. If it doesn't stick, then we readjust our KB and microamps. If it sticks, you'll see.
So like right by here?
Yeah. Okay, so it's not sticking. Go a little bit closer, like in here, eventually. Yep. Okay. So it's really not sticking, right? So we are gonna just up the KB some. Nope.
Oh, okay.
So keep your distance so you don't get your back ionization. But now, okay, stop right there. Let me show you. So if we're doing a clear coat, right? Now, see that? See the shine through it?
Yep.
Here's nothing really down there, right? Oh, right there. So that's how you're always going to check it. And that's, people have the hardest, if they don't have somebody like me and you showing you exactly what it looks like, that's the hardest thing to get by yourself, being told what to look for.
Okay.
But being able to see it, like you just did, physically see it while we're talking, that'll make your life a whole lot easier. So, okay.
So you fix those spots.
Okay, check it. You can put your gun down over there if you want. Yep. You have to pick this up off to check all your corners, all your angles. Sometimes you can see powder lays a little thick. You'll see like a ridge, and then all you have to do is just take it off. See your back ionization? See that? So take this off for a sec. That's back ionization right there, there, spot there. And the reason is because with this system, we had to turn everything up to get that powder to stick. So unfortunately, with everything cranked up, everything's going to be high. Where that system over there, we can have it a lot lower, and you don't have to deal with that. So, but on something like what we're doing, we're fine. So, are we good on everything, all the way around. No shiny parts.
No Chinese part.
One is on this one. Yep, that's a good one. So, now we're gonna go, not to flow out, but to cut metal temp. I feel that.
Jeez.
Okay. So we're at 375. So we call. Okay, so this is the book that you're gonna have. Okay. So we are on a clear coat. We're on clear vision. Clear vision. Then go clear, black, super grip, which we were talking about before. So it'll show us 25 minutes at 400. It tells us UV stable, excellent. Salt and spray, excellent. So this will be fine for under a vehicle. Stone black, gloss black.
So these are all good.
These are all colors
Powder.
that we've done, yes. Because anything that we do, we try to, like if I buy a powder, which I haven't for this silver black yet, and there is some that we just haven't because I was being lazy or something. But usually I'll print it out, put it in a book, and then, because I never use all the powder, you always buy extra, and that way next time I go to use it, I have it. But a lot of it, like I said, don't matter because if I use a clear coat on the very top, I always go by that and I know it's 18 minutes at 375 because I've used that so much. But, so it's if you do 3 coats, 4 coats, your very top coat is the only coat you care about with curing. You'll never, okay, you can't say never. If your base coats, you'll go to full out before your next coat. Full out, 3rd coat. Full out, 4th coat, okay? Except in the chrome. Chrome is the only color that you cure fully before you put your next coat on. So super chrome, you'll cure it, 100% cure it before you put your color on. So if you have a chrome base and you want it to stay chrome, you'll cure the chrome and then you'll put your clear coat on and do 375 for 18 minutes. If you want say a red cherry that has to go on a chrome base, you want it on a chrome base to be shiny, right? So you cure your chrome, you put your red cherry on, and then cure to your red cherry. A lot of people now are using silver, okay, for their base. Well, it's not chrome, so you have to go into a full out. Chrome is the only one that you're gonna go to complete full out if you ever use it. That's the only one. Everything else is full out, and add new. That's it. So it really is basic. Clean out time, yeah.
Right?
So you show this tab right here. These are lockets. So see how that goes in. So everything that you get, you're gonna want locked in. And then this is the same way. You push in, pull it out. Then you just dump your clear back in your clear.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we just put it up a month and a half ago. Before we had this blue one wrapped up and we're just grabbing it. So we put that up and made it a whole bunch easier.
So these steps remind me, and I'll sound like a girl, about having your nails done and the techniques that the nail techs have to do for the gel polishes. Bare nails, the making sure you treat them first, all of the pieces and parts, and having to take care of your equipment in between times.
Everything right
So
down through.
you don't harm anything.
And if somebody knows about painting, it's basically the same thing.
Right.
It's more delicate than
Yeah.
paint, but the concept is the same. clear coat and your color coat and all that. And that's why it costs more to do rims and paint. I think we start. It is.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
I had no clue.
A lot of people can watch videos and stuff and say, okay, that's pretty easy, that's not it, but they just don't see like all the in-between videos and the time consumption
And the being meticulous with your equipment and paying attention to those things.
Yes.
And except blah, blah, blah.
it just, videos always make things look easy.
Sure.
And they're just not.
It's like cooking videos.
Yeah.
Or reading a recipe.
No, cooking is a perfect example of that.
Kind of like using a really good knife compared to a really bad knife. If you can use the really bad knife, you're golden for the rest of your days.
Yeah. Yep. So you learn the hard process and the rest is
Absolutely.
easy. Yeah, we actually have a kid that started powder coating here in town, and he's came over a few times and had me fix his work so he can get it to the customer and stuff. He's come over and had me do jobs to show him how to do it, and like, I don't mind that. It's like, I'm not worried about, there's so much work out there. Like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I'm doing my son work.
This is I had no clue. This is interesting.
Yeah.
The kids that I work with are always hands-on, using their head, using their hands. They're artsy.
Yep.
They enjoy that kind of thing. This is something I had never heard of until Hayden said, I like this. What is this?
And that's the thing. People just don't know what it is.
Very cool.
I always get people thinking it's paint. You know, can you paint my rims? I'm like, we don't paint. It's like, your website says you paint. I said, no, we powder coat.
Powder coat.
They just, people don't know it. And it's fine. And
Intrigued.
like helping that kid, help people around here with, you know, wanting to learn. I think the bigger the community gets, and the more people we can depend on each other with, to where I could call one of them up and say, hey, I'm out of this, and it's going to take me 2 days to get it. Do you have any?
Right.
I would rather have that and help these people and have them build their business and all that, instead of being one of those assholes that are like, no, you know what? I don't want to teach this person nothing because then they're going to take my shit or take my craft. There's so many people in
It
the
sounds
world.
like there's enough business.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm very excited.
And then we do everything, and that's the whole thing. We do everything, like anything metal. There's so much work. We get stuff on our YouTube channel. I did this. So we're like, okay, start. If it's up $3.95 already, $3.95, 18. Let's start 15 minutes. Do you have a
Want me to?
15-minute timer, please?
Sure.
Yeah. That gives you the money. So where was I? Oh, so when we started this for rims. The business was rims.
Yeah.
Rims is 10% of our business now. I
Yeah.
thought rims was gonna be our whole business, and it's just not. And honestly, I prefer to do other things besides rims now. I like doing these offshoot, whatever, parts and jewelry and brackets and snow machine chassis and dirt bike frames. I have a couple. We just did a couple dirt bike frames.
Yeah.
And I try to video a lot of it if I have the help, just to put content out there to teach and show people and everything. But yeah, we answer about 75 questions a day just in Facebook.
Jeez. That's
And like the one we have two down in Burlington that are industrial powder coaters, and like I said, you get a rusty rim or something, they don't want to do it like. If they get something easy to where they can just blast it easy and powder it,
Right.
they're good with it. But they won't just do odd and ends
Right.
and all that stuff.
And that was what you were. The first thing you showed me was some video about my car in Florida. I remember that was where it's like, wait, what is this? And that's when we started our conversation.
I showed you rims.
Did you? Is that what you? Yeah.
I showed you the most expensive powder coater.
That's
Powder
it.
coater is $50 a pound.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What is it? Color changing or something? Or?
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was really stunning. And
They come up with some.
They come up.
It's almost at the point where, like 5 years ago, it wasn't. Right now, it's almost at the point the same as paint, what you can get. Like you used to, up until like I think 3 years ago, you couldn't get flip flops.
right.
You only could do that with powder or with paint.
Paint.
Now you can get flip flops. You can get
Any color, basically.
yeah. Powder coating has gone a long ways in the past 5
Well, it's
years.
going to get more creative too.
Oh yeah. It's gonna stay and match paint from here on out. It'll never fall behind again. As advancements go, also you can powder wet. I have not done it yet, but there is a liquid, and I actually have some of it. I just haven't. I got the liquid because I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
They said you mix it like 1 part to 3 parts powder. You shake it up, you put it in a spray, a wet spray gun, and you can spray it. You don't have to worry about air cage areas, and then you let it dry, not cook it.
Oh.
So I thought that was interesting. Like if somebody come in and they're like, "Hey, you know, I got damage from rock chips on my rims."
Yeah.
Okay. That powder's been out in the world for a week or longer, so I really don't want to put it in the oven and rebake at it. That point it's been too long. So I was like, you know, something like that. Then I could take that same powder, mix it in with this, spray it on. I just haven't experimented with it. I haven't had time to experiment yet.
In your spare time.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But things like that, just advancements like that, knowing that that's coming along down, and they'll just get that better to make it easier to where people will go to powder instead of paint.
Hey.
It's just the industrial way because it's easier to send it through a line on a conveyor where you've got fake cans blowing a whole bunch of powder than it is where you have to have somebody personally paint a project. So that's why they're going more industrial with powder and everything.
Well, some things I can see when it's easy peasy, but some things
Something
need that
that's-
meticulous touch. You need the, and your eyeballs with that light looking at something. Oh yeah.
Where when they do something like this, they don't care if it's light here and light there, and no one else will really care. When they buy it,
Right.
they know it's from the factory, and it's never going to be perfect.
Right.
But you as a coder, a custom coder, you have to. They expect you to be perfect, so you have to have all that knowledge. From a factory, I think their specs is 1 mil. You'll always do 3+ mils when you're being a custom coder. You'll always be thicker than the factory. You'll never be as thin as a factory. And you'll have little gauges to determine all that. So when you first started, I think we have ours. I don't even know where ours is anymore. When I first started, I would always check my work after doing it. And if it was like 5 or 6 mils, I know I was like way over. I'd be like, okay, next time I'll just be a little thinner. And then if I did it again and I'm like 3 mils, I'm like, okay, I gotta remember that in my head. And for my first year of doing it by myself, probably every other project I would check. And now I'm at the point where you get to a point where you just forget about it because you know what you're doing. But things like that is always good. Otherwise, you'll never know how thick you're going or how thin. And again, that thing is like when you get it and you're learning, do secondhand. Don't go no.
Right. Yeah.
So what would that?
If you mess up something or like you get out of you don't want to do powder coating anymore, you want to do something else, you can do it.
And that's why you go
It's
cheap,
not gonna be
because
expensive.
you go through it, and if you decide it's just not for you because it's a lot more, because people think powder coating is just easy, and it's really laborious. It's a lot harder than people think it is when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's people get into it, they buy a whole bunch of stuff, and then they get out of it, and then they sell their equipment at stupid discounts. Like Gary, the one I was telling you about down there, he was in it for a year. He bought one of these machines, paid $2,000 for it, and I bought it off him back for $125.
Oh, jeez.
For my son bought it back for him up there. So he has a $2,000 machine for that. He bought Gary's old handmade oven for a couple $100, and I mean we're rebuilding it, but just to have all the parts and everything for a couple $100, you can't go wrong with that.
Right, easier.
Yeah, because I think we paid $35 for that, $2,000 for that, and the second part is that one was
There's our 15.
$2,500. This was $2,500. This costs more than that, and that's a lot better machine than that. So that's where people just, if they don't have that experience and they don't know, kicks your ass.
Yep.
let's see what you
All right, let's see what we have. So exciting.
Yeah, don't inhale first. You didn't open that either.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, after working a day in here, you'll see freaking just, it's a layer of fucking cloud.
Hurting.
How's it look, buddy?
Very neat.
And then this is our blasting area.
Oh, dear.
Hey, nice view.
Lovely. Who knew?
I didn't know there was a. That's a nice view.
I knew there was a river.
During the summer, we'll have this open and
Oh, yeah.
have the fan over there and just get air.
Dip in the river?
No.
Yeah.
And we just put a rock wall.
I'd be living down there.
Yeah, we just put a rock bank from, my wife's mother just bought this house.
Oh, nice.
So instead of this tree being a barrier between the two properties, now we turned it into one property.
God, yes.
And then we put it from her corner, we have that rock wall all the way to
Nice.
our corner here, to where now people can walk down a rock wall into it. Over on this bend, it's like this deep, but right in our crease,
Yeah.
there's a channel and it's like neck high.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful
Oh,
down there.
see, you were talking about wanting to live on water, right? This is my kind of water. Oh,
Yeah, we just bought lights for out here. Because
yeah.
once you get into the evening and you're blasting, you can't see. So we bought some 6-foot lights, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a bracket and put them here, so when we're blasting here, we have all the light that we need.
Gorgeous. Do you have asbestos hands, probably? I call them that because you can handle hot things.
I know it's not. It's. There you go.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was really cool.
What a day.
This is going on my desk and it's not gonna leave.
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
keep your eye on the prize.
I'll put
my friend.
a date on it. Marker.
Bet you can almost go sit down now.
We'll leave. And